Little hinges swing big doors is a quote that I like to use all the time. And in this video, I'm gonna compare what I look at as the difference between a successful multi-six-figure real estate agent and an agent that struggles. And the reason I started with this quote is that little hinges swing big doors is because I think that is one of the largest things that successful agents do. Now, let me go a little bit more specific into this, because the little hinge in real estate is 100 little things. There's not one thing that a successful real estate agent does that makes them successful. It's a ton of different things. It's answering the phone when new leads are coming in. It is getting back to leads within 5 minutes of them inquiring on something. It's always prospecting for new leads. It is when somebody says they want to change up their search, changing up their search. When somebody says they want to know their home's value, is putting a CMA together immediately, doing a very good job putting it together and not just sending over the automated home value. You're setting next steps every single time you're talking to somebody. You're explaining what's going to happen next in the process. You're following your sales process. You're asking for referrals every single time because you've earned the right to do that by adding value to your customers, and you're following time blocks and 2,000 other things. These are the little hinges that swing big doors to agents being super successful in the business. And agents that aren't successful are constantly trying to figure out what the big magic bullet's gonna be. And the reality is it's 100 different things piled together that make you successful. As I've grown my business, I have learned one core thing, and is that doing things at a high level consistently over time is what is going to lead to business growth over a long period of time. I would rather take consistent work every single week, week over week over week for a year, rather than spurts or sprints of massive action followed by a lack of doing anything. The reality is you can work really hard to get to a client to the appointment stage, and then if you don't do a good job once you're there, you can totally lose all of the work. So the consistency is an incredibly important part of your success as a salesperson, especially in the real estate business. Now, there's another quote that I like. If you know anything about me, you know that I like quotes, is what you measure improves. Now, the reality is when you measure something, it just means you're tracking. The things that you actually track and measure are gonna be the things that are most important to you. So obviously the things that you're constantly looking at are gonna be the things that are improving. If you're scrolling on Instagram versus looking at your sales pipeline, you're probably gonna see two totally different agents if one's focused on one more than the other. In the times that I have personally grown my business the most, it is when I put my head down and focused on just the things that I was trying to improve. Now, for you as a real estate salesperson watching this, here's the 5 major things that I think you should be looking at every single week in your business. And this is on a week-to-week basis. How many leads did you generate this week? How many conversations did you have this week? How many appointments did you set? How many consultations did you set this week? And how many agreements did you have signed? So breaking this down is how many new leads did you add into your database is number 1. Number 2 is how many conversations did you have? Now, depending on your CRM, this can mean a lot of different things, but the reality is, as long as you're tracking the same thing the same way every single week, it doesn't matter what you consider to be a conversation. For us, we use Follow Up Boss with our team here at Onyx Homes. So a conversation is a phone call lasting more than 2 minutes. So we look at new leads, we look at conversations, and we look at appointments set. I have had another person ask me, Christian, what is considered an appointment and how is that different from a consult? An appointment would be, for example, going to tour a property with a client, versus a consultation would be a buyer's consultation, asking them to sign an agreement at the end. So that is how we break these things up. And if it doesn't make sense for your business, it doesn't make sense for your business. But I like breaking up the difference between a regular appointment versus a consultation, which is where I'm gonna ask for a contract to be signed. And then we have agreements signed. So if you went on 5 consultations this week, how many agreements did you get signed from those? It could be buyer's consultation, listing consultation. If you went on 5, you should probably have 2 or 3 agreements signed. You're not gonna win them all, and you shouldn't be losing them all. So tracking these numbers every single week will give you a huge amount of clarity into your business. This is something I do with my leadership team every single Friday, is we look at the major metrics in the business. Now, we do this from a business level, so we're looking at marketing, we're going through YouTube views, How many emails did we send? What was the open rate? What was the click rate? From a sales side, we're looking from our overall sales team, how many phone calls do we make? How many conversations? How many appointments? How many agreements did we get signed? How many escrows did we open? How many did we close? What is our weekly cash flow? These are all things we look at from a business perspective, but if you are an individual agent, these 5 things are absolutely the most important. Now, can you track more? Of course you can, but these are the core. So if you're just getting new to tracking, I would highly recommend starting with these 5, stick with it for 6 months, take a look back, and it'll give you a ton of clarity as far as where you need to look to improve your business. And if you need some accountability in your business, a really good place to go and do that is inside of a real estate community like what we're building at Start to Finish in Real Estate. So this entire YouTube channel is a lot of the content that I make for real estate agents and team leaders. So in the Start to Finish in Real Estate community, you get direct access to me, my marketing team, and hundreds of other agents that are in your exact same shoes as well too. So if you want to join that, go to onyxhomes.com/school, SKOOL. We'll have it up on the screen, and go ahead and join. It's totally free. There's a lot of information on there as well as a lot of extra trainings. So I hope you found this video helpful, and I'll see you in the next one. Again, my name's Christian. See ya.